afternoon, NWS Revolution members and viewers. This is your NWS Head of Town Relations, Michael Cole. I got a very special guest with me, the NWS Board of Directors Chairman, the NWS co-owner, one half of the NWS Tag Team Champions, along with the Chief of Staff, Ira Schwinn, also known as Summon Ask Me Ira, IRA, and he is a former NWS Hardcore Champion, a former NWS United States Champion, a former NWS Intercontinental Champion, and he is the current NWS World Heavyweight Champion, Mischief Mikey Miller. Well, thank you, Michael Cole, for the introduction. I'm Mr. Mikey Miller, back with yet another Revolution Impact review. This time, me and Michael Cole here are going to give you this past Friday's Revolution Impact review. And what a show it was. Oh, I'm so hyped up. Oh, I'm so hyped up. I am so hyped up that I am just so hyped up. This is the first time in my career in the NWS Revolution that I've done two double reviews on a Sunday. Oh boy, I'm so excited. Michael Cole, take it away, buddy. Why, thank you, Mr. Mikey Milner. Okay. Last Friday, this past Friday's Revolution Impact review, was hailing from the this Revolution Impact review was hailing from the Chesapeake Employees Insurance. So this past Friday's Revolution Impact was hailing from the Chesapeake Employers Insurance Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. That's right, the Chesapeake Employees Insurance Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. And the commentators for the show were Joe Garley and Dan Lambert. And as they welcome the fans to the Chesapeake Employees Insurance Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, and break down the match card. And we start with the opening bell. NWS Tag Team Championships, Mischief Mikey Miller from Darman Studios, DHARMANN, Darman Studios, and Someone Ask Me Ira, the Chief of Staff, with General Manager Don Callis in the corner, defeated Commander Speedball Mike Bailey in a tag team match. Defeated Commander and Speedball Mike Bailey. Mikey and Ira began this tag team titles match. Bailey worked Mikey to the ropes, so Mikey fired back with a cheap elbow. Bailey lit up Mikey with a kick theory, so Mikey tagged Ira. Called for Commander to tag in, but it was a ruse to attack Bailey from behind. Bailey came off the ropes with a handspring to avoid Ira, and floored him with a stiff kick to the chest. Commander tagged in and took Ira down with a springboard arm drag, followed by a springboard crossbody. But Mikey came in to break up the pin attempt. Commander and Bailey was sent to the ropes, but ducked under Mikey and Ira to hit stereo Hurricane Ranas that sent them to the floor. Commander and Bailey through the ropes to hit the divers on both Mikey and Ira. Mikey and Ira broke up the double team and isolated Commander for several minutes until Commander cradled Wayne for a near fall. The kickout allowed Commander to get back to his corner to tag Bailey. He blocked the charging Ira and ran him into the he blocked the charging Iowa and ran him into the top turnbuckle and followed with a kick to the head. Bailey hit a missile drop kick on Iowa and the blasted Mikey off and he blasted Mikey off the apron with a pump kick. Bailey hit a combo of kicks, running. It says Bailey hit a missile drop kick on Wayne and blasted Mikey off the apron with a pump kick. Bailey hit a combo of kicks followed by running shooting star press for a 2 count. Bailey and Iowa avoided each other's kicks until Iowa threw Bailey down with a dragon suplex. He tagged Mikey, who grabbed Bailey and rolled through the sunset flip to get a near fall. Bailey tried to kick a sitting Mikey, but Mikey laid flat to avoid it. Bailey tried a moonsault knee drop, but Mikey was ready for it. So Bailey landed on his feet, only for Mikey to blast him with a big boot. Bailey floated out of a Project Mikey attempt and connected with the moonsault. So when I connected the moonsault knee drop to Mikey's chest. Mikey tagged Iowa as Bailey tagged Commander. Commander went up the ropes to avoid Iowa with a unbelievable amount of control and in wins, but Iowa hit him face, but Iowa slammed him face first with a drop toe hold, ran back up the ropes for a splash on Iowa, but Mikey broke it up for running knee to Commander. Bailey stopped Mikey with a kick flurry. Iowa went to hit Bailey with a forearm, but missed and knocked Mikey off the apron. But and then to the floor. Bailey followed up with a moonsault to Mikey to the floor. Commander came out of nowhere for a Springer mixing destroy. 1-2. Iowa kicked out. Commander walked through the ropes to finish Wayne with a stiletto lindo, but Mikey interrupted him. So Commander came down and knocked Mikey to the floor. Iowa rolled Commander up for a near fall. Commander missed the splash on Iowa in the corner. So Mikey grabbed him by the mask, only for Bailey to pull Mikey down to the floor and back in the ring. Mikey hit Commander with a foot script, followed by a prodigy plex for the pinfall. Victory after the match, Don Callis raised Mikey in Iowa's arms. Winner and still NWS Tag Team Champions means Mischief Mikey and Someone Asked Me Iowa via pinfall with the prodigy plex. That's right, the prodigy plex. Prodigy plex. Or pocket. Yeah. And that was a good tag team match. I mean, whether you like it or not, Mr. Mikey Milner and Someone Asked Me Iowa are really doing good as tag team champions. What do you say, Mikey? Oh, without a doubt, Michael Cole, without a doubt, I mean, me and Iowa have brought a whole lot of respect and momentum to those NWS Tag Team Champions. We do double duty every night on Revolution Impact. Me and Iowa, IRA, defend our NWS Tag Team titles. Iowa defends his hardcore title, and I defend my World Heavyweight title every night on Revolution Impact. So we are bringing, and that's what's been missing here in the NWS Revolution. We need to bring respect back to all those titles, and the Power Regime is just the ones to do it. Next match. Match number 2, NWS Hardcore Championship. NWS Chief of Staff, Someone Asked Me Iowa, with General Manager Don Callis defeated Shelton Benjamin into arena night. The crowd is booing loudly as Don Callis stands on the ramp. He holds a microphone and smiles. Don Callis, shut your mouths and show some respect for the greatest NWS Hardcore Champion in history, the Chief of Staff, Iowa. IRA. Cult of personality blasts through the speakers. Iowa emerges wearing a crisp suit with the sleeves torn off. The NWS Hardcore Championship belt strapped around his waist. He smirks, high-fiving Callis as they walk down the ramp. Ring announcer, the following contest is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the NWS Hardcore Championship. Introducing first, accompanied by NWS General Manager Don Callis. He is the NWS Chief of Staff, Iowa. Okay. Iowa enters the ring and raises the belt. Callis stands on the apron, but whispering instructions. The music changes to an intense, heavy heat crowd. The crowd erupts to huge cheers. Shelton Benjamin walks out, laser focus. He doesn't play to the crowd. His eyes are locked on Iowa. Winos and his opponent, the challenger, the old standard Shelton Benjamin. Shelton slides into the ring. Iowa immediately backs away into the corner, hiding behind the referee. Bell rings. Ding, 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 ding. Shelton strikes Iowa. Iowa tries for a cheap shot. Punch. But Shelton blocks it. Shelton unleashes a barrage of white hands, backing Iowa into the ropes. Shelton whips Iowa across the ring and hits a massive power slam. Shelton goes for the quick pin. 1-2. Kick out by Iowa. Iowa rolls out of the ring to catch his breath. He leans against the barricade. Shelton follows him outside. Shelton grabs a steel chair from ringside. As Shelton lifts the chair, Don Callis steps in front of him, blocking his path. Don Callis, touch me and you're fired. You hear me? Benjamin fired. The referee is leaning over the ropes, yelling at Callis to step back. With Shelton's attention on Callis, Iowa sneaks up from behind. Iowa hits Shelton in the lower back with a trash can lid. Clang! Shelton drops to one knee. Iowa hits him across the shoulders. Iowa rolls Shelton back into the ring and covers him. 1, 2. Shelton powers out with a strong kick out. Iowa is frustrated. He picks up Shelton for a suplex, but Shelton slips behind him. Shelton hits the T-bone suplex out of nowhere. Both men are down. The crowd counts along with the referee. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shelton stirs first. He nips up to his feet. The crowd goes wild. Iowa crawls to his feet, dazed. Shelton sets up for the finisher as Iowa turns around. Shelton connects perfectly with the pay dirt. The crowd explodes. Shelton hooks the leg for the win. 1, 2. Suddenly, Don Callis grabs the referee's leg from the outside, dragging him out of the ring. Shelton Benjamin. What the hell? Shelton Benjamin says. Shelton leans over the ropes and grabs Callis by his. Shelton leans over the ropes and grabs Don Callis by his tie, lifting him up to the apron. Shelton is furious. Shelton Benjamin, you're dead, Callis. While Shelton is choked up with Callis, Iowa crawls over to the corner and grabs the heavy NWS Hardcore Championship belt. As Shelton turns around to face Iowa, Callis jumps onto the apron, grabs the referee's attention, pointing toward an imaginary weapon under the ring. Shelton is momentarily distracted by the connection on the apron, shouting at Callis to get down. Iowa seizes the opportunity as Shelton turns back around. Iowa swings the Hardcore Championship belt, striking Shelton across the chest and shoulder area. Shelton staggered by the blow. falls to the mat. Iowa quickly drops the belt and falls on top of Shelton for the lateral press. Don Callis releases the referee, who slides back into the position to make the count. 1, 2, 3. Bowings ringing us, and here is your winner and still NWS Hardcore Champion. Someone asked me Iowa. Don Callis slides into the ring, laughing and celebrating the success of the, laughing and celebrating the successful scheme. He hands the title back to Iowa. Iowa raises the gold high in victory, leaning on Callis as they gloat. The crowd continues to voice their disapproval as Shelton Benjamin slowly recovers, frustrated by the interference. Well, it's Shelton Benjamin's fault. I mean, he should be focusing on the match. It's his own dumbbell fault. Iowa was just doing what he does, and there's a reason why Don Callis is at ringside, to keep an eye on people like Shelton Benjamin, because they're sneaky. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, Mikey. People, oh yeah, Mikey. Really, you really think that Don Callis played a big factor in the hardcore championship match? He definitely played a big factor. He kept interfering, distracting the referee. Really, you call that fair and square? You think that's a fair win? To me, if it wasn't for Don Callis, I personally think Shelton Benjamin would become the new NWS Hardcore Champion. But nope, when and still NWS Hardcore Champion. Someone asked me, Aaron, speaking of you, Mikey, speaking of you, Mischief Mikey Miller it says Mischief Mikey Miller is in his office with Assistant General Manager Paul Heyman as they talk strategy and praise Iowa's victory. Mikey asks where Scott Casey Gale is because he has lap warming duties. Mikey says Scotty Boy is late and already breaching protocol and breaking shadow rules. Okay. And now it's the next match, singles match. Characters: Sean Clary, the technically gifted, hard-hitting underdog, resilient and highly skilled. Brian Fury, the intense, aggressive powerhouse, known for brutal striking and restless peace. It says Sean Clary defeated Brian Fury with director of operations Jaden Miller, who was in the corner of Brian Fury. And by the way, Jaden Miller had his wrestling gear on at ringside. He wears red wrestling tights. He wears red wrestling tights, boots, and elbow pads. And Jaden Miller wears long wrestling tights, red elbow red elbow pads, no shirt, and no shirt because he likes to flex up his because Jaden, yes, Jaden. So what Jaden Miller wears is he wears red wrestling tights, boots, red elbow pads, and no shirt. Jaden does not wear a shirt to the ring. But anyway, it was nice for Jaden Miller to uh, accompany him. Anyway, the match is on. The energy in the arena is electric as the music hits and the crowd cheers. Ring announcer: the following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first from Dublin, Ireland, Sean Clary. Clary emerges down the ramp, slapping hands with fans. He looks focused and completely dialed in. He slides into the ring and gains a loud pop from the crowd. The lights flicker as heavy rock starts blasting. And his opponent, Brian Fury, accompanied by Jaden Miller, storms out staring intently at the ring. He ignores the crowd entirely, walking with pure bad intentions. He steps over the top rope and immediately locks eyes with Clarity. Ding, 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 ding. The two square up in the center of the ring. They lock up. Fury uses his power advantage to shove Clary back into the turnbuckles. Fury offers a clean break but slaps Clary across the chest with a brutal chop. Chop! Clary winces but fires back with a warning firearm to Fairy's jaw. The fight is instantly on. Both men trade rapid fire strikes in the middle of the ring. Brian Fairy whips Clary into the ropes. Clary ducks a clothing line, rebounds off the opposite ropes and hits a beautiful springboard dropkick that sends Theory stumbling backward. What? Cleary stays on the attack. He grabs Theory and executes a seamless snap suplex. Cleary bridges into a pin. 1, 2. Theory kicks out with authority. Theory rolls to the apron to reset. Cleary sees an opening. He hits the ropes and dives through the middle section with a lightning fast suicide dive. Both men crash hard into ringside barricade. The referee begins 1, 2, 3. Clary rolls up. Theory back as Clary climbs onto the apron. Theory springs to his feet and executes a devastating running boot, knocking Clary clean off the apron, down to the floor. Theory pursues him outside. He slams Clary's back against the ring post, then rolls him inside. 1, 2. Clary gets his shoulder up. Theory controls the pace now. He wears Clary down with a grueling submission hold, pulling back on his neck and shoulders. The crowd claps wildly. Wilding behind Clary. Clary battles back to his feet. He breaks the hold with several sharp elbows to Theory's ribs. Clary hits the ropes, but Theory catches him out of midair with a massive spine buster. Theory pulls Clary up, looking to finish the match. He sets Clary for his signature powerbomb. Theory lifts him in the midair, but Clary counters beautifully, shifting his weight and flight into a hurricane rana. Theory hits the canvas and scrambles backward into the corner. Clary charges across the ring and hits a shattering running knee strike right to Theory's face. The crowd is on their feet. Clary drags Theory away from the ropes and positions him perfectly. Clary hooks both arms and delivers his finisher double underhook DDT. Clary collapses on top of Theory, hooking the leg. 1, 2, 3. Bell rings. Ring announcer. Here's your winner, Sean Clary. Clary's music hits. The referee raises his arm in victory. Clary breathes heavily, nursing his ribs from the physical match, but smiles at the crowd. Both competitors get a standing ovation for a spectacular performance. And this was indeed a great back and forth match. Both Brian Fury and Sean Clary looked very good in the ring. I am impressed. I am impressed. I was watching this match backstage, and I loved exactly everything about this match. I did. This is true classic technical wrestling. This is what it's all about. This is what yes, this is what professional wrestling is all about. And we need to see more stuff like this. I mean Sean Clary and Brian Fury know exactly how to wrestle. I mean, you got to give them credit, Mikey. You definitely got to give them credit. What do you? I mean, I definitely do because I loved what I saw in this match. What do you say, Mikey? Oh, without a doubt, Michael Cole. Both Brian Theory and Sean Cleary put on one hell of a performance. These two guys. Both Brian Theory and Sean Cleary. They can go. They can wrestle. When Sean Cleary caught a promo on the NWS Revolution Facebook page a couple weeks ago, he meant what he said. He meant business. And you got to give him, and you definitely got to give him credit, no matter what, because yes, most definitely, and yeah. So congratulations to Sean Clary on his victory against Brian Fury, and congratulations to Brian Fury for putting on one hell of a performance. And you're right, Michael Cole. You're right. This is what professional wrestling is all about, and both Sean Clary and Brian Fury proved exactly that. And then backstage, NWS Director of Operations Jaden Miller sees Scott Casey Gale and takes him to the co-owner office for a summed up father pep talk. Jaden tells Scott he needs to stand to Mikey and Ira and not take any of their crap. Scott promises Jaden he will do that as he gets up. And then this is the best part. And then Mikey, and Ira, and this is the best part when we get involved, when me and Ira intervene, and then, so that's just, yeah. So after my 14-year-old brother Jaden Miller tells Scott not to take any crap from me and Ira, this is the best part. Mikey and Ira grab Scott by the arms and make him sit on their laps as punishment. Scott tells them off and says to Mr. Mikey Miller, he says he will be the last man standing at a heat wave. As Scott gets up to accompany Jaden Miller, Mikey and Ira pull him back in their laps and tell him he is going nowhere. And Jaden has to defend his two titles by himself. They tighten their grip. Huh? See, that's what Scott Casey Gale gets. He needs to understand how to respect authority. As I said many times, I like my 47-year-old father, Scott Casey Gale. I love my father. I love my adopted father, but he needs to learn the hard way, and he needs tough love. And he thinks that Jaden Miller, my goody two shoes 14-year-old brother, and his goody two shoes 14-year-old son, Jaden Miller, is the one to give him tough love. Really? Jaden Miller by making Scott sit on his lap? Oh no, there's only two laps Scott Casey Gale is allowed to sit on here in the NWS Revolution. That is my lap and that is Ira's lap. And Scott Casey Gale needs to open his eyes and realize that. Now, speaking of Jaden Miller, my 14-year-old brother, and my Scott's 14-year-old son, that's the next match. NWS Revolution segment. NWS United States and Intercontinental Championship match. Kansas. Jaden Miller, NWS Director of Operations, double champion, resilient, smart, and fighting for respect. John Moxley, the challenger, unhinged, violent, a relentless brawler. Don Callis, NWS General Manager, scheming, manipulative, ringside presence. Okay, so let's begin. The match is underway. The crowd explodes into a mix of cheers and bruises. Bruises. The crowd explodes to a mix of cheers and boos as Wild Rock music hits. John Moxley walks out through the crowd, looking focused, mean, and ready for blood. Don Callis walks right behind him, smirking. The following contest is scheduled for one fall, and it's a winner-take-all match for the NWS United States Intercontinental Championships. Introducing first, the challenger, accompanied by NWS Gentleman Don Callis, John Moxley. Moxley slides into the ring, pacing back and forth like a caged animal. The music changes to an upbeat modern theme. Jaden Miller, Jayden, Jaden Miller, walks out wearing both championship belts proudly over his shoulders. He looks determined, and his opponent, he is the NWS, and then ring announcer says, and his opponent, he is the NWS Director of Operations, the dual NWS United States and Intercontinental Champion, Jaden Miller. Jaden enters the ring and hands his titles to the referee. The referee holds them high in the air. Ding, 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 ding. Moxley charges instantly. He corners Jaden, unleashing a barrage of brutal rights, lefts, and headbutts. Moxley whips Jaden across the ring and hits a massive clothesline. Moxley covers 1-2. Jaden kicks out early. Moxley bites Jaden's forehead, then takes him to the outside. Side floor. Moxley slams Jaden into the steel steps. The referee is counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, by the way, my brother Jaden Miller's wearing. Oh, by the way, my brother Jaden Miller's wrestling shirtless and wearing wet is wrestling shirtless and wearing red tights and red elbow pads. But by the way, anyway, Don Callis sneaks around the ring while the referee checks on Moxley. Callis slides a heavy steel chair into the ring, hiding it near the corner. Moxley rolls Jaden back inside. Moxley sets up for the Death Rider finisher. Jaden counters, slipping behind Moxley and hitting a lightning fast German suplex. Both both men are down, gasping for air. The crowd of rowdies behind the dual champion. Jaden gets to his feet first. Moxley swings wildly, but Jaden ducks and hits a spinning heel kick that rocks Moxley. Jaden hooks Moxley's arms looking for a pile driver. Suddenly, Don Callis jumps up onto the ring apron. He grabs the referee by his shirt, screaming about imaginary fan distraction. With the referee's back completely turned, Moxley recovers, grabs the steel chair that Callis snuck in earlier. Moxley lifts the chair high. Moxley lifts the chair high for Jaden's head. Jaden sees it coming in the reflection of the turnbuckle. He ducks. Moxley swings hard, misses, and the chair rebounds, violently off the top rope, smashing Moxley directly in his own face. Moxley stumbles backwards, completely dazed, still clutching the steel chair in his hands. Jaden seizes the moment. He kicks Moxley in the gut, hooks his head, and lifts him high, dropping him flat with a devastating pile driver right onto the steel chair. That's right, a devastating pile driver right onto the steel chair. Jaden throws his arms over Moxley cover. Don Callis screams in horror from the apron. The referee turns back and dives to the counter. But 1, 2, 3. Ding, 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 ding. Here's the win and still NWS United States Intercontinental Champion Jaden Miller from Darman Studios. The referee hands the titles back to Jaden. Jaden stands tall, holding both belts high in the air as the crowd cheers wildly on the outside. Don Callis throws a tantrum, clutching his head in disbelief as his master plan falls completely apart. Uh, well, I gotta say, I gotta give my goody two-shoes 14-year-old brother credit. He can definitely wrestle. I mean, it was another great match. Both Jaden Miller and John Moxley put on one hell match. Isn't that interesting? Last Friday, August 14th, 2026, I defended my World Heavyweight title against John Moxley, and I pinned him. I defeated him 1, 2, 3. And this past Friday, my brother Jaden Miller defeated John Moxley. So both me and my brother Jaden Miller had victories over John Moxley. Isn't that interesting, Michael Cole? Oh, yes, indeed, it is interesting. And yes, and that is true. Both you and your brother have single victories over John Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose in WWE, by the way. And then in the co-owner's executive office night, the camera cuts to the plush leather and gold executive office. The walls are lined with championship plagues. Flat screen monitors and oversized frame poster of Mischief Mikey Miller and Ira holding their respective titles. In the center of the room, behind an enormous mahogany desk, Mischief Mikey Miller sits relaxed, and it sits relaxed in his high back leather executive chair in his wrestling gear. The NWS World Heavyweight Championship relentlessly on the desk. Irish friend wearing a green suit and wearing a silk green Georgia Armand and I was when someone asked me Iowa wearing a custom made silk green suit with a light with a light when and someone asked me Iowa wearing a custom made light green silk suit with a dark green silk dress shirt and tie underneath. Irish friend stands nearby, his hardcore championship belt slung over his shoulder, holding a giant stack of official match sanctioning contracts and a gold plated pen. Between them, seated right across their lap, and then between Mischief Mikey and someone asked me Iowa, between them, seated right across their laps, is Scott Casey Gale. Scott Casey Gale is squirming in pure irritation, hands pinned under Iowa's grip, completely unable to reach the desk or get up. Scott Casey, Mikey, Iowa, this is absurd. Let me up. I have 3 production meetings to run and an entire mid card to format properly. Mr. Mikey Miller says, relax, Scotty boy. We're keeping you right here where you belong. Safe, cozy, and comfortably he says, this is what Mike says, relax, Scotty boy. We're keeping you right here where you belong. Safe, cozy, and completely out of trouble. Every time we let you near the matchboard, you stop talking about sanctioned rules, standard singles, matches, and fair competition. Boring, Mikey says. Irishman, leaning down right by Scott said, chief of staff order, chief of staff orders, Scott. While you're pinned down here, the real bosses make the calls. No, no sensible matchmaking tonight. We want the asylum now. Scott glares at the television monitor on the office wall, which is currently replaying highlights of Jaden Miller celebrating his huge double championship defense. Scott Kisagio says, you two are out of your minds. When Jaden finds out what you're booking next, he's going to use his operational power to shut the entire circus down. Mr. Mikey Miller. Jaden can try, but the co-owner signature overrides everything. Speaking of matches, Ira, what do you say we book a TOC barbed wire fatal four elimination match next week for the hardcore title? I was saying, approved by Scott Casey. Is it? Signing Scott's name across the bottom of a page with a flourish. Approved. Uh, Approved by Scott Casey Gale himself. Look at that crisp signature. Scott Casey Gale. That's forgery. You two, you're both totally corrupt. Mikey and I were burst out laughing, leaning back and holding Scott. And then after that, that's forgery. Scott Casey Gale says you're totally corrupt. Scott Casey Gale replies, Mikey and Iowa, Mikey and Iowa burst out laughing, leaning back and holding Scott in place as they toast high and soda as they toast high end soda glasses over his head. Mr. Mike Miller, welcome to the new era of NWS fans. Sit back, relax, and let the real champion steer the ship. The screen fades to black. Scott continues protesting amidst Mike and Ira's imperious laughter. I mean, Wildy, Mikey, and I, Wildy, both of you guys just forged Scott Kisagaro's name. So next week, Iowa is defending his hardcore championship. That's right, Iowa, the cheapest step Iowa, IRA. Someone asked me Iowa is defending his hardcore championship next week, and a tables, ladders, and chairs barbed wire fatal four-way elimination match for his hardcore title. And you and I have the audacity to forge Scott Kisagaro's name, approved by Scott Kisagaro. Really, Mikey? I mean, come on. What do you mean? What do you mean, Michael Cole? This is a new era in the NWS Revolution. You gotta understand that, Michael Cole. This is what we do. I mean, you got to understand, Michael Cole. It's about strategy. Scott Kesey, as I said many times before, Michael Cole, Scott Kesey Gale needs tough love, and me and Iowa are giving it to him. You got to understand that, Michael Cole. There's a reason I make Scott Kesey Gale sit on my lap. There's a reason why someone asked me Iowa makes Scott Kesey Gale sit on his lap. We just do. We're just showing them that we mean business. That's all. You gotta calm down, Michael Cole. You gotta calm down. Iowa is ready. He is gonna be defending his NWS Hardcore Championship and a TOC Fatal Four Way match, and he's gonna win. Okay, just calm down, buddy. Take a deep breath, Michael Cole, and calm down. The King of Mischief, Mischief Mikey Miller, is here to keep you company. All right. And then later on, I'm going to keep Scott Kesey Gale company by making him sit on my lap. So, anyway, Michael Cole, you got a show to reveal. Reveal the co-main event, Michael Cole. Take it away. Okay. And then it was the co-main event. NWS Undisputed Championship match. Bob McGovern on where was Cody Rhodes? I don't know. Let's say Bob McGovern and NWS Undisputed Champion. A ruthless, highly technical, and calculating submission specialist. Kyle O'Reilly, the challenger, elite martial artist, master striker, and resilient crowd favorite. So once again, let me do it. It says Rod McGovern, NWS Undisputed Champion, a ruthless, highly technical, and calculating submission specialist. Kyle O'Reilly, the challenger, elite martial artist, master striker, and resilient crowd favorite. Don Callis, NWS general manager, corrupt, loud, and constantly looking to manipulate the referee. Paul Heyman, assistant general manager, the strategic the strategy, the strategic mastermind clutching the championship belt at ringside. Referee needs to be alert, but is easily overwhelmed by two managerial masterminds. And tonight, okay. The lights dim to a deep, ominous red. Heavy orchestral music echoes through the arena, met with a chorus of intense boosts from the crowd. Don Carlos walks out first, holding a microphone. Right behind him is Paul Heyman, holding the gold NWS Undisputed Championship tightly across his chest. Finally, the championship himself, Rob McGovern, emerges looking cold, calm, and dangerous. Ladies and gentlemen, open your... Don Carlos says on the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, open your eyes and witness perfection, the standard of professional wrestling, the NWS Undisputed Champion, Rob McGovern. Paul Heyman walks up a circle around McGovern. Around McGovern. Paul Heyman walks a circle around Rob McGovern, whispering final tactical advice into his ear as they head down the ramp. The ring announcer. The following contest is the co-main event, and it is for one fall. The NWS Undisputed Championship. Introducing first, accompanied by General Manager Don Callis and Assistant General Manager Paul Heyman. He is the Undisputed Champion, Rob McGovern. Rob McGovern enters the ring. Heyman hands the title to the referee, making sure to stare down the official to assert authority. The lights flash to a rapid, energetic strobe pattern. Guitar riffs kick in. The crowd explodes into a massive cheers. Kyle O'Reilly storms out, shadowboxing and air guitaring down the ramp, completely focused. And his opponent, the challenger, Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly hops onto the apron, slides into the ring, and immediately sets a martial arts stance. Rob McGovern doesn't blink. Ding, 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 ding. The two technical wizards circle each other. They trade lightning fast leg kicks. O'Reilly catches McGovern's leg, spins them around, and unleashes a brutal combination of strikes, a forearm, a body shot, and a sweeping leg kick that takes the champion down. O'Reilly quickly locks in an armbar. McGovern screams in pain, scrambling desperately towards the ropes. He grabs the bottom rope just in time. The referee forces the break. McGovern rolls to the outside to talk strategy with Heyman and Callis. O'Reilly doesn't wait. He hits the ropes and flies over the top with a springboard knee strike, crashing into McGovern on the floor. O'Reilly rolls McGovern back in the ring as O'Reilly climbs up the turnbuckle for a high flying move. Don Callis runs over and grabs O'Reilly's ankle from the outside. Hey, get your hands off me, O'Reilly says. The referee rushes over to admonish Callis, threatening to eject him from ringside. While the referee is completely occupied by screaming at Callis, Paul Heyman moves to the opposite side of the ring. Heyman slides the heavily undisputed championship belt directly into the ring to McGovern. McGovern snatches the metal belt as O'Reilly turns around from the top turnbuckle. McGovern drops the championship belt directly into O'Reilly's knee. Crack! O'Reilly collapses off the turnbuckle, clutching to his knee in absolute agony. McGovern quickly slides the belt back out of the ring to Heyman, who hides it behind his back. Callis backs way in the air, and the referee turns attention back to the match. McGovern pounces like a shark. He ruthlessly targets O'Reilly's injured leg, hitting a dragon's leg whip, followed by a series of heavy elbow drops right onto the knee joint. McGovern locks in the finishing submission, the chicken wing cross-face ankle lock hybrid. O'Reilly fights with everything he has. He tries to roll through, but his injured knee gives up. He reaches desperately for the ropes, but McGovern pulls him back dead center of the ring. Heyman smiles at ringside, shouting at O'Reilly to give up. O'Reilly screams, tries to fight the pain, but the damage to his leg is too severe. Left with no choice, O'Reilly practically taps out on the canvas. Ding, 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 ding. Here's your winner and still undisputed. Here is your winner and still NWS undisputed champion, Rob McGovern. McGovern releases the hold. Paul Heyman slides into the ring immediately, dropping to his knees to present the undisputed championship to McGovern. Don Callis raises Rob McGovern's arm in victory. The three mastermind figures stand tall over a broken tire O'Reilly as the arena echoes of loud boos. And that was a good co-main event, but once again, Don Callis and Paul Heyman were a major factor at ringside, interfering and distracting the referee. I mean, why can't Rob McGovern just win fair and square? Why does he have to have Don Callis and Paul Heyman help him cheat? Why? I don't understand. Oh, Michael Cole, you do understand, Michael Cole. That's the name of the game, Michael Cole. That's how you play the game. Rob McGovern knows exactly how to do that, and Rob McGovern proves why he is indeed the NWS undisputed championship, and he is proving it with honor. I'm sorry, Michael Cole, but that's the way Rob McGovern plays, and you need to respect that. Now it's main event time. I love this, and I'm gonna reveal my own match. It's a main event, NWS World Heavyweight Championship Triple Threat match. Characters: me, Mischief Mikey Miller, NWS World Heavyweight Champion co-owner, arrogant, cunning, and heavily protected. Then Kenny Omega, the challenger, the best bout machine, explosive, elite, athlete, and fan favorite. Will Ospreay, the challenger, the aerial assassin, high flying, relentless, and lightning fast. I Irish trend. Someone asked me Ira. MWS cheaper step. Smug, mocking, and acting as special guest commentator. Scott Casey Gale pushed around, forced to sit. And I love this. I love what it says about Scott Casey Gale. This is the best part. Whoever whooped this is a genius. Scott Casey Gale, pushed around, forced to sit on Ira's lap at ringside. Don Callis, NWS General Manager, Master Manipulator, and Paul Heyman, MW Assistant General Manager, Master Strategist. Joe Garley and Dan Abbott, the NWS broadcast team, disgusted and professional. Referee complete overwhelmed by a triple threat match with no disqualifications. The crowd is buzzing for the main event. Before any music hits, Ira Schwinn walks down the ramp. He he is carrying he is carrying a furious This is the best part also. It says Ira Schwinn walks down the ramp. He is carrying a furious struggling Scott Kisegale in his arms like a prize. Ira smirks, walking straight forward. I was Smokes walking straight toward the commentary table. Joe Gotti, oh come on, are you kidding me? This is supposed to be a historic main event, and the chief of staff is turning this into a complete farce. Dan Abbott, this is sickening, Joe. Scott is a professional, and I is treating him like a prop just to show off his authority. It's totally unprofessional. Ira pulls up a reinforced steel chair right next to Gotti and Abbott. He sits down and pulls Scott right on. And, and this is it. Ira pulls up a reinforced steel chair right next to Joe Gotti and Dan Abbott. He sits down and pulls Scott right onto his lap, trapping him further, trapping him firmly so he can't escape. Ira puts on a headset said with one hand, I was saying, shut up, you two hacks. You're looking at the corporate synergy at its finest. Scott loves it here. He's keeping me company while we watch the greatest champion being on earth retain his title. Say hello to the fans, Scotty. Scotty says, get your hands off me, Ira. This is a corporate hostile environment. Elevate hits the speakers. Will Ospreay storms out to a massive ovation from the crowd. He looks down at the commentary table, shakes his head in disgust, and flips into the ring. The following contest is a triple threat match for one fall, and this is for the NWS World Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first the challenger, the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay. The music transitions to battle cry and the crowd explodes. Kenny Omega emerges. He walks down the ramp with intense focus, bypassing Callis entirely, who is looking near the ring, and a cold challenger, the best bout machine, Kenny Omega. Finally, a dark theatrical theme plays. Me, Mischief Mikey Miller, walks out with the NWS World Heavyweight Championship over his shoulder. Flanking him on the left is General Manager Don Callis, and on his right is Assistant GM Paul Heyman, holding a hidden steel chain. And introducing the champion, accompanied by General Manager Don Callis and Assistant GM Paul Heyman. He is the MWS World Heavyweight Champion, Mischief Mikey Miller. Ding, 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 ding. Ospreay and Omega don't wait. They immediately team up to unleash a double team assault on Mikey Miller. Ospreay hits a spinning heel kick, and Omega follows with a snap of dragon suplexes that send Mikey rolling out of the ring to the floor. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my blue wrestling tights, no shirt, blue elbow pads, and blue knee pads. Yeah, I just like my brother Jaden Miller, I Mischief Mikey Miller also wrestle completely shirtless in the ring and showing off my great physique because everybody loves my physique. Now, now, yeah, and they double teamed me. They double teamed me. Yeah, they double teamed me. This, and then Irish Schwinn says on comedy, that's illegal. That's collusion. Look at these two jealous losers ganging up on a visionary leader, the Mikey Miller. Joe Gotti says, Iowa, it's a triple threat match. They are literally no disqualification. Anything goes. Out on the floor, Mikey leans against the ring post as Omega goes to dive through the ropes. Don Callis jumps on the apron, grabbing Omega's leg to trip him. To This is what Don Callis jumps on the apron, grabbing Omega's leg to trip him flat to the canvas. Dan Levin, look at that. Callis just tripped Omega right in the front of the referee. I was trying. I didn't see anything. Dan, I think Omega just tripped over his own oversized ego. Spectacular awareness by Mikey to let gravity do the work. While Omega is down, Paul Heyman hands the steel chain to Mikey Miller from ringside. Will Ospreay hits the rope. Whoops, he goes for a springboard forearm, but Mikey steps up and strikes Ospreay midair with the steel chain wrapped. And it says this. While Omega is down, Paul Heyman hands the steel chain to me, Mikey Miller, from ringside. Will Ospreay hits the ropes and goes for a springboard forearm, but Mikey steps up and strikes Ospreay mid-air with the steel chain wrapped first. Ospreay crashes hard to the canvas, clutching his jaw. Mikey throws the chin back to Heyman, who quickly they tucks it inside his suit coat. Joe Gotti, he just hit him with a chain. Heyman just passed him a weapon. Referee, do something. I was saying, what weapon, Joe? All I see is a championship. All I see is a champion executing a brilliant high-impact forearm smash. Truly a masterclass in modern heavyweight wrestling. Mikey is fun. Omega stumbles back to his feet, bleeding slightly from his mouth. He charges Mikey, but Mikey counters, catching Omega and executing a devastating one-winged angel right into Omega's own neck. Mikey covers Omega while Don Callis holds Ospreay's legs from underneath. From underneath them. So this is how it wins. So Omega stumbles back to his feet, bleeding slightly from his mouth. He charges just Mikey, but Mikey, counters, catching Omega and executing a devastating one-winged angel right into Omega's own neck. Mikey covers Omega while Don Callis holds Ospreay's legs from underneath, so he cannot slide him to break it to pin. 1, 2, 3, ding, 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 ding. Here's your win and still NWS World Heavyweight Champion, Mischief Mikey Miller. And again, this is how I won. So all you geeks, all you MWS geeks, understand. Omega stumbles back to his feet, bleeding slightly from the mouth. He charges Mikey, but a devastating one-winged angel right into Omega's own neck. Mikey covers Omega while Don Callis holds Will Ospreay's legs from underneath the bottom the rope so he cannot slide to break up the pin. 1, 2, 3. Ding, 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 ding. And here's your winner, still NWS World Heavyweight Champion, Mischief Mikey Miller. I beat Kenny Omega with his own finisher. I'm a genius. There's a reason I'm the king of mischief. I just used that as leverage to shut Kenny Omega up. And I was sure this coming, and still, the king stays on his throne. Total dominance. Iowa lets go with Scott, standing up to clap aggressively. Scott immediately scrambles away toward the back, completely humiliated. Don Callis and Paul Heyman slide into the ring, raising Mikey's hands in victory as the arena fills with thunderous chorus of boos. Scott Casey Gale pushes back his chair, frantically trying to split up the entrance ramp to escape the commentary table. Before Scott can take 3 steps, Ira Schwinn lunges forward. Ira hooks Scott around the waist, lifting him completely off his feet. Ira laughs maniacally, dragging a struggling Scott back to the broadcast position and slamming him right back down onto his lap, locking his arms totally around Scott's chest. Scott gets scared. Let me go, Ira. The show is over. Let me out of here. Ira shredded. gleefully tightens his grip. The show isn't over until the chief of staff says it's over, Scotty. You aren't going anywhere. Suddenly, the arena lights plunge into pitch black darkness. The crowd gasps. The celebrity music of Mr. Mikey Miller cuts out instantly. A high pitch piercing digital static wings through the house speakers. The massive Titantron screen above the stage flickers, violently flashing a distorted, deep crimson static. A heavily modulated low, disguised mastermind voice booms through the arena. The voice is completely unrecognizable, cold and calculated. A silhouette appears on the screen, face entirely distorted by shadows. As the mastermind says this on the Titantron, he says, enjoy your laughter while you can. Board of directors, because the clock is officially ticking. The screen flashes with an image of burning contract replaced instantly by a massive promotional graphic for the pay-per-view. He says, Scott Kisugeo, you think you are safe hiding under the corporate umbrella. You think your title holding captors can protect you. Let me read this slower. He's the mastermind continues to say, Scott Kisugeo, you think you are safe hiding under the corporate umbrella. You think your title holding captors can protect you. On August 30th, 2026, the power regime invades Wembley Stadium for Revolution Heatwave, and your corporate immunity expires. Scott stops struggling. And this is the best one. This is Scott's reaction. It says, Scott stopped struggling, his eyes glued to the screen in sheer terror. Ira's smug smile fades slightly, his grip tightening around Scott as he stares at the Titantron. Disguised Mastermind says, at Heatwave, the hierarchy changes. The systematic corruption ends. And Scott, what happens to you in London will send shockwaves through the entire industry. The screen violently glitches, flashing back black and white footage of a shadowy group walking through an airport terminal. And then the disguised mastermind says, do not bother looking behind you because they are already here. The audio tracks a layer over each other, repeating the terrifying echoing chant. They are coming. They are coming. Bang! A loud explosion of pyrotechnics hit the stage, and the Titantron cuts to static before going completely black. The arena house lights slowly lit. Down at the commentary table, Scott looks entirely pale, frozen in fear, and Ira snapped. Ira looks momentarily confused by the threat, but refuses to. Ira continues to smirk. This is but this is but during the commentary table. Scott looks entirely pale. Scott Kisugeo looks entirely pale. Well, let me read this story. Down at the commentary table, Scott looks entirely pale, frozen in fear, and Ira's nap. Ira looks momentarily confused by the threat, but a statistic grin, a statistic grin quickly returns to his face. He refuses to let Scott go, trapping him even tighter, whispering mocking comfort into Scott's ear. In the center of the ring, NWS World Heavyweight Champion Mr. Mikey Miller throws his head back and bursts into loud, echoing laughter, completely unbothered by the warning, raising his championship bout into the air. Joe Gowley, a chilling warning for Wembley Stadium. Who is behind that voice? What is happening to Scott? Dan Abbott. The corporal collapse is coming on August 30th, Joe. The camera pans back, showing Mikey laughing in the ring. And this is how it ends. The camera pans back, showing Mikey laughing off in the ring. Iowa, refusing to let a terrified Scott off his lap at the table. As the NWS Revolution copyright logo flashes in the corner, fade to black, and the show goes off the air. And this was a really, really good show. Yes, this was indeed a very, very good show. I would rate Revolution Impact 5 stars, 2 thumbs up, way up, and a solid 10 out of 10. That's right, 5 stars, 2 thumbs up, way up, and a solid 10 out of 10. Scott Kisegeo has no idea what's in store for him. No idea whatsoever. And it's just clever. It's just clever. August 30th, 2026, Michael Cole. Remember that they are coming. The power regime will take over the NWS Revolution, and we will put Scott Kisegeo out of business. Remember that, Cole. Remember that. Well, it is a very, very frightening message. I mean, I've never shown Scott Kisegeo show fear on his face. I mean, Scott Kisegeo looked intensely afraid. He looked scared to death. A tough guy, Scott Kisegeo, looked completely scared to death. I mean, I mean, I mean, this this mastermind has really been getting to Scott Kisegeo. He's been striking fear and continuing to play mind games. Is Scott Kisegeo actually afraid? I mean, what is going on here? What is going to happen August 30th, 2026? By the way, next Friday, me and you, Mikey, are gonna give you our Revolution Impact Go Home show reveal, and next Sunday, me and Mischief Mikey Miller here are gonna give you our MWS Heatwave reveal. But anyway, yes, this shows a solid 10 out of 10, A plus, 2 thumbs up, way up, and 5 stars. But very creepy ending. Very, very creepy ending. What does the mastermind want? What does the mastermind want? What is this? Why is he continuing to play these mind games with Scott Casey? We already heard him speak twice here on the MWS Revolution. What is his next motive? And he has challenged Scott Kisegeo to an 8-man tag team elimination match. Will Scott Kisegeo accept? Only time will tell. Anyway, this is your MWS Head of Town. This is Michael Cole signing off. And me and Mr. Mikey Miller will give you next week's Revolution Impact Go Home show reveal and the Revolution Summer Heatwave pay-per-view reveal. Anyway, you all have a good night and thank you for watching. I will see all of you this Thursday on Revolution Impact, and next Friday for the Revolution Impact reveal, and next Sunday when I defeat Scott Kisegeo once again and continue to be the last man standing and still the NWS Revolution World Heavyweight Champion, me, Mr. Mikey Miller. You all have a good night and thank you for watching. This is your NWS Board of Directors Chairman and co-owner and World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Mikey Miller, signing off. Have a good day. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you. And God bless you all.